Hey, it is August 7th. It is Monday, and check out my new background. I reorganized my desk, or my office, rather. Um, and I am now looking at the side that I used to be in. Actually, there's a little bit of dirty laundry over there, but I'll give you a little tour over here. There's the door. That's what I'm looking at on the other side. Sorry, that's a little crooked. A little laundry over there. And I'm not going to be able to focus the camera on it, I think. I don't know how to get the camera focused on it. But out of this window over here, I now get to look at how to focus it. Like my roses are right there. I can see a tree. I can see the sky. That stuff was not accessible to me before. So here it is. And I love sitting on this side. This is like so much better. So much better. But anyways, good morning. Today I am talking about how to leverage this community for transformation, if that is something that you are interested in. Okay, I just want to say that with this message, I want to make sure that everyone knows that however you are right now, you are absolutely perfect. I am not saying that you need to change. I am absolutely not saying that. But I do know that you probably took that brave step into sobriety because deep down you did crave change of some kind. There was something that you wanted that was different in your life. I know that's what was definitely, absolutely true for me. The change that has ended up coming out of sobriety has been so much more than I ever could have dreamed. And I know that there's even more on the horizon. So if you are one of those people, then who is also craving change and looking for more change in their life, then today I wanted to talk about how you can use this community as a transformational tool, because I do hold a very fierce belief that sobriety is a gateway to something just breathtakingly profound and beautiful for you. I know that it is possible. So let's get real. Let's get real here. I have been right where you may be right now. There may be parts of you that you don't really like. There may be aspects of yourself that you haven't exactly faced or that you haven't accepted because you aren't happy with them. There may be ways that you are currently that you judge as being wrong. And maybe like me, the way that I had been, maybe you don't even realize that that discomfort is there because you don't like to think about it. And maybe you do. Maybe you do think about it all the time. Like I said, there's no pressure. This message today, this is like a buffet of inspiration. So you can just take from it whatever resonates, leave what doesn't. This community is your space to grow, to thrive, to blossom in whatever way feels right to you. So let's have a little chat though about what might be stopping you from showing up here in the way that you have the potential to. So what it may look like on the outside is it may look like things like, for particular events, like, I don't think I have time. I'm too much of an introvert. You may sort of conveniently forget about it, decide you're too tired. There's too much traffic, it's too far. And I'm not saying that none of those things can't be true, because they can be true, but they could also be what really is a place of self-judgment that is kind of wrapped up in all of these other excuses. And once again, I understand because I have totally been there. This place of self-judgment and this place of actually projecting that onto other people and judging other people when really I'm judging myself. But I don't want to admit it, and I can't face that. So I often think about the last time that I went to Miami for work, and this was a few months before I got sober. One of our biggest customers was the Miami-Dade School District. So since I was the training manager, normally I would have one of my contract trainers would conduct the training, but since they were our biggest customer, then they decided to send me to as the training manager to kick off the training myself. And at this time, I was starting to just experience so much discomfort in this incongruence between the way that I wanted to see myself and how I actually was. So for example, I arrived a day early to Miami because I wanted to be able to explore the natural areas around. So I arrived a day early so I could go to this nearby state park. I rented a bicycle. I rode my bicycle around so that I could see these wild crocodiles, and it was awesome. But at the same time, I got a really late start in the day and I was a little bit hungover. So I had that discomfort between like, I wanted to see myself as this like healthy, nature loving, person. And on the other hand, it was like that morning, I was like, oh my God, where am I going to find something like I need something to drink that is going to make me feel okay, because I do not feel that great right now. I had designed this training session for the group of teachers on our new coding curriculum. And it was so impactful for the teachers that they actually spontaneously applauded at the end of my training session, which felt amazing. So this was happening, but at the same time, I was getting into conflicts with one of my colleagues after we'd been drinking. This was like multiple days that we were there, and I kept getting into conflicts with one of my colleagues. And I also basically invented, I didn't basically invent, I invented some terrible gossip about my manager that I shared with two of my colleagues and one of these contract trainers that was working for me. I was very unhappy with myself because these two things, the way that I was and the way that I wanted to see myself, like they just didn't match up. And so then once I got myself into sobriety, that's when I started asking myself, okay, Naomi, you have a chance here. Like, who do you really want to be? I had all these things that I knew I wanted. I wanted to feel fulfilled creatively, professionally. I wanted to be surrounded by a growth-oriented, creative, open-hearted community. I wanted to feel closer to my husband and more genuine in my marriage. But in order to have all of these things that I wanted, what I needed to face was the way that I was, and not in a shaming way. There's definitely like no shame, no blame ever. Absolutely. But just in an open, curious, compassionate way, where I was able to forgive my younger self for being dishonest, forgive her for all that destructive behavior, forgive myself for all the confusion that I'd caused myself in my life and caused for other people. And little by little, I've been able to open up to who I am in the present moment so that I can change myself into the person that I want to be. And at this point in life, I now, like, I don't even know the last time when I could have said this before, but I am really happy with who I am right now. I truly am. I couldn't have said that before. So what is the point of all this that I'm sharing right now? So am I saying don't show up until you're perfect? That is absolutely not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that if you do have a desire to change anything about yourself, like I did, then you do have a couple of options. One is to just stay stagnant, just stay as you are. And once again, no shame, no blame. That is absolutely just a choice. You know, you've already chosen sobriety, and maybe you're like, okay, that's good. Like, that's all I need to do. I don't really want to change anything else. That is totally fine. But if you are fueled by that fire, that desire of self-growth, then this is your invitation. Because action is the key to transformation. And guess what? This community can be your playground for that transformation. And I'd like to share with you some concrete strategies that you can use in our amazing community. Now, remember, this is not about fixing you. I'm not saying that there is anything about you that needs to be fixed, because there is not. You are not broken. This is only about amplifying your brilliance. You are exactly who you were supposed to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. But if you are hungry for change, and if you are ready for purpose and to feel like you have some control over your life, then here are 3 strategies that you can use as a playful little dance within the community. You ready? So here they are. The first strategy is just to show up. You're already a member, but the strategy is to surround yourself with magic makers. It is something that that we all know is that we are incredibly influenced by our environment. Now, if you think back to Miami, I was around some people who wanted to get drunk and to spread malicious gossip about people from work. And so what happened? I made some up so that was what they wanted. That's what I did. So one strategy is just to actually show up and engage within the community, because by doing that, without even trying, the community is going to have an impact on you. The second one. So besides being influenced by others, because you can show up and engage thinking like, I want other people to inspire me. If you're also showing up with the intention of being there for other people, that is actually a great way to inspire yourself. For me, that is something that I have found within the community, starting this community, showing up with this intention of like, I'm going to share with people, I'm going to try to support people and inspire people. I have so much inspired myself through doing that. So if you would like to be a happier person, you can set that intention that you are going to be the ray of sunshine in someone else's cloudy day. This does not mean that if you are in a bad mood or something to like come in and pretend like everything is fine when it's not. So I am not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is within your capacity and that's something that it feels like you can do, this is a great strategy, is to show up with the intention of inspiring other people. And then the third technique, I was a middle school teacher for several years back in the day. And middle schoolers would do this all the time. They would do this thing that's called acting as if. So middle school, just like sobriety, it's a time of accelerated change. And I used to see kids using this technique like it was like they were trying on different personalities. So it was like, it could be in a negative way, like a kid who's very polite and kind-hearted one day decides the next day to try out being kind of sarcastic and mean. But it could also be used in a positive way, like a kid who has always just tuned out in class then all of a sudden one day decides to start paying attention and is like taking notes and participating in class, and I'm like, what's going on? What happened here? And the kid's like, what? I decided just to see what it was like to be somebody who pays attention. And they just started doing it. So acting as if, that means that you start engaging in the present moment as the person that you actually aspire to be. And what can happen little by little is that is how you actually turn into that person. So you're not focusing on the past, like this is how I've always been, this is just the way I am. When you're saying that, when you're just like, this is just the way I am, well, it's going to be really hard to change that aspect of yourself. If it's something that you want to change. Once again, I'm not saying you have to, but if it's something that you want to, or focusing on the future, like, what is this going to mean for me? But just if you're like right here in the present, saying like, I have control over my own emotions, and right now, this is who I'm going to be. So for example, I had a goal that I had set for myself in very early sobriety, was that I wanted to have a more calm, grounded energy in group settings. I used to not feel that way, which is, why a lot of us would drink, right? Or like, I just wanted to get high. But I was like, I just want to have a more calm, grounded energy in group settings. Okay, so then you ask yourself, so if this is who I'm going to be, okay, so what would someone who is calm and grounded, so what would they do? Well, maybe they would arrive on time, so they're not all flustered at the beginning. And maybe before, when they get there, instead of just like rushing in the door to where everybody is, maybe they would first take a pause and like just take some deep breaths and center themselves before they walked in. What else would somebody do if they had a calm, grounded energy? Well, maybe they would intentionally get themselves into a positive state of mind before they go in by thinking about something that's going well in their life, or just thinking about a couple of people that they know are going to be there and that they're excited to see. Maybe setting your intention of like, I'm going to really listen to people today. Maybe when they walk into the room, they just like calmly look around the room instead of panicking because they don't see anybody that they know on first glance. So that third strategy is acting as if. I wanted to have a more calm, grounded energy. So I was like, I am just going to think, how would that person be? And I'm going to just try that out. And I'm going to act as if I have a calm, grounded energy. And what has turned out is like over time, and it's ended up being a lot more than that, but I have gotten to the point where most of the time, not all the time, I'm able to have that calm, grounded energy when I want to. So what I really would like you to know is that you can use these gatherings, these in-person gatherings, not only for finding people to have fun with, which also, like, if that's one of your things is like, I want to be somebody who knows how to have fun without alcohol, then great, like be that person who knows how to find people to have fun with without alcohol. But like, I just want you to know that you really can use this community as one of those many stepping stones along the path of your evolution. It's not just that you're just attending events, but this is really like in sobriety, I really feel like it's that where we're coming in as that caterpillar, nothing wrong with being a caterpillar, but ready to just like turn into goo and have that metamorphosis and coming out as that beautiful, vibrant butterfly self. So if you want to try out what it's like to be a butterfly, then you can show up as a butterfly. So that's the message for today, is just to think about how this community can really serve you on your path of transformation if that is something that you are interested in, because you are perfect exactly as you are. I did not have any messages in the squid box. So if you have any, remember, if you have any suggestions, questions, or ideas, you can submit those to the squid box, and other people may have the same one. So it would be great if you have a question, just put the question in there. I'll share it on the Monday message, and then other people who were who did not speak up with the question will have that answered for them as well. The next 2 weeks, I will not have a Monday message because next week I'm going up to go camping around the Port Townsend area. So I'll be doing some hiking in Olympic National Park. I have a friend who lives up there. Actually, it's a friend. I'm friends with her, and I'm also friends with her mother. Her mother is the one who has moved back to Port Townsend, but my friend is also going to be there during that week. So we're going to be camping, but then we're also going to be going and hanging out with them. And then we're going to make a little trip up to the San Juan Islands after that. And then I will be back. So the next 2 Mondays, I will not be here, but I would love to have somebody on as a guest to chat in any of the other Monday messages. So lots of love. Hopefully there was something in the message that was for you today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you soon. However you are, however you show up is absolutely perfect. This community is just a place for you to play and explore and have fun. Bye.